Our next question then comes from Buddy DeGry, who wants to know how you can allow learners to skip quiz questions and then be able to go back and answer them after they've completed the quiz. Well, this isn't easy to do in Captivate because, in fact, quizzes are sort of locked down in many ways in terms of what you kinds of flexibility you can have with them. So, as you mentioned in your email to me, buddy, you were looking to see how I could do this with advanced actions and so on. Well, that's fine, and I've created a little example for you to see now, but it's not necessarily going to be something that takes no time at all. It takes a little while to do, and then and so I've started the process for you, and I'm going to show it to you now so that you can see how the process is done. So let me explain a little bit what's going on here. I've created a question here that is, in fact, completely done with my own buttons and so on. It's not a quiz question, it's my own question. And while you can assign this to have quiz points, for now it's not set up that way. It's just simply going to allow the learner to answer the question and then submit it and so on. The quiz options here, sorry, I should say that these being buttons though, I just want to give you a hint, you can include these in a quiz down here at the bottom. Even a standard smart shape button, for instance, can be included in a quiz. In fact, any interaction can be included in a quiz. So all you have to do is click that and then you can assign points to it, etc. I'm not going to go that far for this session today, but I will show you how I set up my exercise, and I will make this file available to you as well. I have a couple of variables up here on the screen that I've created and placed on the screen, and this is just for debugging purposes. You normally would take these out before the learner, before you hand it over to a learner, for instance, before you publish the file. But in the meanwhile, let me show you how this works. When you click each of these check marks that you see here, do not appear initially. When you click on one of these, for instance, you'll see that over here it's showing you a number 1, 2, 3, 4. And the check mark also appears where you clicked. If I hit submit and it's the wrong answer, it will have a specific wrong answer feedback, not Airbus, no, try again. I'll do this one, no, it wasn't Boeing, try again. Lockheed, not Lockheed, try again. And then Grumman, of course, is the right answer here. That's right, it was Grumman. If I then go on to the next slide, okay, that one is done. Now let's say I don't respond to the question, I just go next. Well, next would just take you away from that question. And if I try to submit without clicking one of these, it will say please answer the question, or click next below to skip it. So then, of course, you do have that option as well. And I think this is kind of what you were looking for. I hope it is. And let me explain a little bit how I built it, and then again I'll give this file to you. Well, these are just smart shape buttons, and I did create states for them just so that they could be so that when you roll over them and press them, that there is a difference. Now, I tried initially to make it a little more complicated, but then I decided no, let's keep it simple. So right now, the states are just your normal 3 states: your up state, your down state, and your rollover state. I also, as usual, turned on my hand cursor and turned off the disable click sound. Sorry, turn both of those on so I don't hear the click sound, and I do see a hand cursor. The feedback in Q1, as I said, those are I would normally just take those out so that they'd be gone, but I'll leave them in for now so that you can see what's happening. But normally you take those out. So what happens is that with each of these buttons here, a different advanced action is going to be chosen. The first one is chose A, and then of course it'll be chose B, chose C, chose D over there. And they all are very similar in nature. In fact, this one here says assign Q1 with 1. So that's the number you saw pop up here on the screen when I clicked on it. Hide the check marks. These are all part of a group down here called check marks. And I'll show you that in just a sec. And then show the specific check A check mark. If I look at the other 3, you'll see that they're very similar. In fact, this is a really good example of something that could be turned into what's called a shared action, which is a topic for another session. But when you see a lot of similarities between advanced actions like this, then you start thinking, okay, let's make this into a shared action. All right, so as I said, the check marks are in a group up here called check marks. You can easily group things in Captivate by selecting them and right-clicking on any one of them and choosing group. But you'll see that they are all in here. So when in the advanced action I say hide the check marks, that means hide them all. Well, only one will show up at any given time, but this way I'm sure that whichever one was last shown is going to be erased, is going to be hidden. Not erased, but hidden. And then I show the specific one that should be shown. And that's a really common technique for showing a check mark or whatever else you want to show, where only one should be shown at any given time. So you just group them all, hide them, and then show the proper one each and every time. So what happens when you hit the submit here is that there's a fifth advanced action, and this one's a conditional. And a conditional in this case starts out, in my case here, I start out with a condition that is unconditional. It's 1 equal 1. The reason for that is that I want to make sure that this variable called Q1 done that I created is going to be reset to 0. Because if they answer the question more than once, we need to make sure that it doesn't appear that they've already, during the second try, that it's not going to simply get confused. Then, if they had hit A, that means Q1 is equal to 1, because remember we assigned it that in the advanced action that was attached to Boeing. And then we assign the feedback with, no, it wasn't Boeing, try again. And we assign Q1 done with 1. So as soon as I actually hit 1, I'm going to set Q1 done to 1. So if I hit A, B, C, or D, those 4 buttons on the screen, great. But if I haven't hit those 4, then it's going to fall into the last one here that says, hey, if Q1 done is still equal to 0, meaning it wasn't set to 1 at any point along the way, we're going to show please answer the question or click next below to skip it. So that's it. I hope that helped. It should get you quite a ways to where you want to get. And if I tried to build out a whole quiz that way, well, it would probably take me a good day or two. But I just wanted to make sure that you knew how to get started with that. Okay, good. Let's keep moving on.